Welcome to the channel. I'm netrw7 and welcome to this new video about the Vim. Okay, today's video will be focused on a simple thing, just to make it very short. We want to start editing files in Vim because we just already learned how to do it with the course. And well, how we start? Well, the first thing is that we have in Vim what is called I will open the screen. What we call the file explorer, and you usually invoke it just doing vim dot. This is what they call netrw, and it's pretty straightforward how to use it. And you will navigate as you do with Vim. If you want to go back one folder, you hit enter. If you want to open a file, you hit enter, and it will just show this. This is like a normal thing with Vim. And if we remember, we just say set a number and set a relative number. And now we have an editor in this session that allows us to do what we learn on the course, like all the good things, like go to the middle of the file, the final part of the file, to the final part of the thing. We can move off as we like with F doing percentage. Everything works just fine, and we have a nice highlighting, some common words that Vim has by default. But this is a thing to learn, right? You edit, you save using like W and Q, and then you exit, and you have to go back to net RW using E dot, and you can use B next to go back to your file, and doing this like back and forth, right? That's the what people will try to edit in Vim. But if you are unfamiliar with that and you don't like to do that, remember that you can do like a V split. Oh, I mean, let's do. Sorry for that. I did something that I didn't use. You can do column, split, or VSP for short, and you can have now to Windows go with Control W to the one that you want to start, and you just do E. I meant E new. And you will have a totally new file. So now what you have to do? Well, if it's a new file, you guys figure that was the last thing that I copied. So let's do undo. Let's insert like a print statement. We do hello from Vim. And we will do w my file that py, and that's where things work. If we go back to netrw, you can check that now we have like this SWP, that is the temporary file that creates a neovim to let you know that you are editing in Vim. But now we have the file that we have, and my folder that py that we opened before. But now, if you want to see what happens if we just if you want to execute the file, usually you will have to let's go out, let's do ls to check. You will do python 3 my file.py, and then you have to go back to Vim and repeat the process. But Vim is not an editor done to be used like that. That way is not that much efficient. So we can do split my file.py, and it will immediately open in the current buffer and create a new buffer with the thing. Now that we have something that we consider that it looks like what we have usually. And we can switch buffers and rearrange things to seem things like in the familiar way that you want. But you can say, let's execute the file. Then you will do colon and the bank is a Python 3 in this case, and my file.py. What Vim will do is open a call. It will send us back to the terminal. We will check what is the output, and we can go back here, and everything is great. So if we press enter, we will go back to Vim and see the result. And that, my friends, is the way that you are intended to use this editor to edit several things. So you can move with Control W, open here the other thing, and do again. If you do up arrow, you can say my folder.py. Of course, it will say that it's not able because this is a list parser and I need some modules that I don't have installed here, but in my other operating system. So don't expect that much. But now you understand how the things work. You can have at the right one file that you can just run very quickly, and the left this. And if you do e dot, you can go back to the folder. If you do b next, you can go back to the file. If you do Control W, do b next, you can like move here, and you can do tab new again, and you can have several tabs. So you can have here e dot. E dot, and so you will have like tab ref. So you can have the editor here and the tab with your editor there at the back. So that's a good thing to do. That's the way that you are intended to use and navigate Vim. You can use some other things if you are not very you saw that it has autocomplete. So you press tab, you could check what are the options and execute a recent command. So that's another thing that you could do. Like do VS is the only thing that we can do, like VS split. So this is great, and you can start editing and things like that. But that's not the only thing that you can do. If you have an editor a little more powerful, but based in Vim, that will be NVim, you also have access to RW, but with a different thing. What if I don't want to do more netrw? If you have a plugin manager, as we saw in the tutorial link down below, and you have like enable support for clipboard, and you want to use several windows, and you have a lot of files, navigating with the netrw will be not that great. So, but if you have a plugin manager and you have installed like Telescope, you can do the configuration like find files, and now you can here search, but if you press escape, you can use the Telescope POSI Finder and do a preview of each file that you have in the folder, and you can navigate the folder pretty quickly. Then you can find files, and you can use grep. If I'm not mistaken, if I do here escape and do usually the leader key, so you can execute that is the backslash. I think it is backslash. You can use like rep to get instant results with regular expression, and so that thing that you can use, also use. So that's the difference with neovim. With neovim have this option to use those kind of plugins that really are fantastic, because you don't have to use RW, but you can use a search based on other patterns and file names and all the good stuff that you usually get with other editors. So go ahead and try it out and Leave a comment down below if you could replicate this, if you want a video on how to install the basics of telescope, and I will be more than happy to show you that. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe. Remember that if you want to learn BIM, there is a series in this channel. I will link down below how to do it. If you don't know how to copy and paste from an external application, also I will be linking down below on that. And see you in the next video. I hope you enjoy.